Hey folks, welcome to the live stream. Glad you all could be with me today. For those of you rolling in, this is Tweet FPV. We talk about stuff like this, life, things in general, and whatever we want to get up to. Glad you all could be here today. It is currently raining its butt off outside. I had a window about an hour, maybe two, to get some packs in. Yeah, didn't capitalize on it, and I am bummed. But the week was pretty nice. I managed to get a few packs in for fun, just doing the things I like to do, trying to do some quad tuning, and I've been working with this Flight 1 build, and I don't know what to think about Flight 1. I don't know if it's really good and way above where it should be, or if they are really bad and just dragging behind the rest of the industry. I just can't tell. Anyways, welcome to the live stream. Tweet FPV here. You can call me Dan, call me Tweet, whatever you want. If you want to get a hold of me over on the chatty box there, hit @ type tweet, and it should pop up in yellow, and it helps me see it. If you want to hit a super chat, I will be sure to answer your questions. And over in the chat, Rick Zapata, the first one up on the list. Thank you very much, my friend. Rick is a large contributor to my Discord. If you're interested in participating in my Discord, go ahead and check out the link, tweetfpv.com. There's a invite to the Discord server down there, and we'd love to have you. Get a little bit of music going in the background, because why not? I'm paying for the license, I better well use it. Over at the chat here, we got Eric Allen, as always. Welcome, my friend. Robbie, good evening, man. Shenanigan, think about to get a pint this summer. I've never skated, never snowboarded. What do you think? I think it's an absolutely awesome idea to get a pint. If you can find someone who has one, give it a try first before you buy it. But the pint is a really nice board. That's the one I started off with. I have zero board sport experience whatsoever. It took me about 15 minutes to get on it and get used to it. Kind of just holding on to a fence rail until I got going, and I love it. I love the pint. I have since then purchased an XR, and I gotta say, if I had the XR before I bought the pint, I would not have bought the pint. The pint is a lot more cramped and smaller, but it's way more maneuverable. If you're gonna go down a sidewalk and you gotta weave between people, the pint's where it's at. If you want to go faster over really bad terrain, off-road, down gravel driveways, things like that, you're going to be on it for a long time, the XR is the way to go. But remember, that is a 4-year-old board. So hopefully Future Motion comes out with something newer soon. Robbie says, I'm lucky my wife's tired, went to bed early, so she doesn't consider FPV live streams a worthy use of my time. My wife feels the exact same way. And Shenanigans said he just got a Onewheel ad. You know, Google AdSense, a lot of time and money behind that development. Rick Zapata, I'm watching your stream and compiling custom firmware for my printer. Tried Crowdy stuff, not working the way I want to. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time custom compiling Marlin for my first 3D printer, which was a Tivo Tarantula. Once you get the ins and outs of how Marlin works, it's pretty easy, and I think if you use Notepad++, you can bring up 2 files next to each other, and it'll tell you the differences between the two. So you can kind of check your syntax between what like the stock format would be and then what you're making changes to. Eric Allen has spent the last 2 weeks getting my DJI rigs flying right. They do now, and it's raining. Yep, that's how it always goes. Rob Logan Jr., welcome to the live stream. Rob Logan, another one of my Discordians. Yeah, I'm gonna just call you Discordians. I don't know why. He's got an XR and he knows what's up. So a little update. I know this is an FPV channel. We are way off topic here. As far as my XR saga goes, I don't know if I'll do a little recap here. I bought a Onewheel XR used. A patron of mine found it at just a stupid price at a FPV retailer website, which is not where you would expect to find it. And I picked it up, got it home, really enjoyed it, but I was having an issue where you would power it on and it would half power and shut off. So I contacted Future Motion. They said, yeah, there's a communication issue with that board. Here's a FedEx label, drop it off, box it up, drop it off, and we'll take a look at it. They said it'd take about a week to get there, a week to look at it, a week to repair it, and a week to send it back. So they're saying like 4 weeks roughly turnaround time. I sent it out what was it? On the 16th, I believe. Let me double check the dates here. Yeah, I sent it out on the 16th. It arrived in California on the 19th, and I had return tracking on the 22nd, and it should be back here on the 2nd. Amazingly fast service. I'm not the original owner. They didn't even ask. So, they're not going to ask. I'm not going to say anything. Sometimes it's worthwhile just trying. Like, I've got this Elgato capture card that I've had problems with ever since I bought it. I bought it secondhand. I went through the troubleshooting with their technicians, said, hey, look, this is secondhand. Can you help me out? Maybe give me a discount on a new one. That one didn't go so well, but it's always worth a try. All it is just time and effort. Powered by coffee this morning. Well, it's not even morning anymore. It's 2 o'clock where I'm at. Coffee provided by, well, not provided by, but this is the coffee that I drink for the live streams. Come on, focus you. There we go. Ruby Moon Coffee. Friends over at Ruby Moon Coffee. Really good coffee if you're in the States and you're interested in some basically 2-order roasted coffee, give them a shout. And unfortunately, I am a haul out now. No beer, nope. Trying to lose a couple pounds. This winter has been particularly tough on me. Gained a bit more weight than I want to, so I'm trying to lose a little weight, cutting out the beers, kind of step one of a lot of steps to get to that goal. But no beer today. I tried to order some of that Snap Chilled, and they were out of stock last week. But I'll give it another look today. So anyways, got a lot of stuff going on. Got a new camera. I was hoping to be streaming at 4K. Turns out I can't figure out how to get OBS to do that, and I don't think my internet connection could support that. I did step up to 1080-60, so it's nice and fluid now. The A5100 that I was using here was replaced by a 6400, and the A5100 is now this one here. So I have plenty of high quality zoom for doing the benchy type stuff here. And then my GoPro that I had mounted up on the wall here, I replaced that with my Brio webcam. So you can get an idea of kind of what the streaming setup looks like here. Still many changes to come. Plan on a third monitor there just for the chat whenever that happens. But before that happens, I think changing up my audio is going to be the next thing. I need to get or I would like to get a Go XLR and just a normal XLR microphone on an arm. But plenty of things to do. Crash more, you'll lose weight fast. Good afternoon, it starts. How you doing? So I've been working on that. Working on a new set of grips for the Jumper T-Lite, or sorry, radio. Yeah, the Jumper T-Lite. I really kind of like this radio. It's kind of what the Beta Light radio should have been in the beginning. As you can see, they are, I think, pretty much the same form factor, just clearly different in a lot of different ways. But I have the grip design done. I'm just cutting it, and I need to do some photos for the Etsy and to send over to Race Day Quads, who are going to be carrying them as well. But really like this radio. Yeah, I like it. I like this one. It's probably going to live in my bag as kind of my my micro transmitter, but pretty nice. I like it. Hoping to do, well, we'll talk about some radios today. It's been a big question I get asked all the time is, what's the best radio? Not to say that there is one best one, but I think there's one that is the most versatile, and then there's certain things I like and don't like about the rest of them. Robbie, am I a musician? No, I'm not. I used to play a little bit piano, and I used to play saxophone way back in the day. I haven't done either one of those in, she's got to be 20 years-ish. I've always wanted to get back into it, but too many competing demands. I do have a decent piano, except for it's all the keys are busted on it. Stinking kids. But yeah, I got a video coming out where I show you guys how to make one of these. It's a 4S 18650 lithium ion battery. A couple people requested a video on how to do that, and I have one coming. I just need to finish editing it. Hopefully the weather is decent where you're at and you guys get a chance to go out and fly. If it's sun shining, man. Oh, the guitar in the background. No, that was a horrible Christmas gift my mother gave my at the time 6-year-old daughter. But no, I've tried a little bit. You know, I got some friends that really good guitar players, and you know they've dinked around on it a little bit, but no, definitely wouldn't say I play at all. Lots of things I'd like to do, just probably not going to do. But last week was race week, or race day, race weekend, whatever. And I was working on this Flight 1 build. I'm using the Lightning H7, and I am having a hell of a time with this thing. I don't know if their development is way past where everybody else is, or if it's way behind where everybody else is. I can't tell. I've had a lot of issues with this flight controller, like making changes through the OSD and going to save it, having a saving error, and then it goes right back. It formats whatever settings in there, and I go right back into the initial setup, which is just so absolutely frustrating. I do have it working right now, and look, we're spoiled with Betaflight, where you can put just about anything on there and it flies decent, or at least safe enough where you're not going to burn up motors. Flight 1 is not like that, at least not on this build. This thing flies awful, just truly awful, like really bad D-term oscillations. And it seems like no matter how much I turn down the D-term to the point where it flies even worse, I can't get rid of it. But they talk about it having Cerebro, which is their AI filter tuning, whatever the hell that means. I don't know if it's marketing wank or if it's actually true. I can't really find a whole lot of information on it. But I tell you what, I turn that on and this thing smooths right out. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something, and it's making a big difference. Rick Spada says, flying tomorrow all day with the boy, getting ready for indoor race season. Cool, man. What are you flying in your indoor race season? Is it a spec class or is it a open class? Kind of curious. But anyways, Flight 1. I don't know if I love it or hate it. I'm gonna keep messing with this one and see where I get with it. But I got a bad feeling I'm just going to end up ripping that flight controller out and sticking a Betaflight flight controller in there, going back to what I know. I do like the way it flies when it's flying good, and it sounds clean. Like the sound of the motors when it's working right, it's clean. I don't know how to explain it. The sound is just crisp compared to all my Betaflight quads. Whether that translates into better flight performance or not, I'm not sure. It seems like it, but again, it might just be the placebo effect. But I really do like that. Yeah, not a whole lot going on this week. Haven't gotten a lot of flying in. I maybe got 3 packs in on this quad. One of the things I talked about I don't know, it was like last week or maybe the week before, is I'm considering a different type of like super chat giveaway. I was thinking about giving away cups custom engraved with pilot logos and their pilot name on them. Not this one, but this is just kind of a sample of what I was kind of working on. This one is just something that I'm using as a tester, unfortunately. You got to kind of burn one of your base materials to kind of figure out what settings work. But I was thinking about doing that. I don't have anybody in line yet. So if you have a decent pilot logo and you want to get your logo engraved on I was using like the 12-ounce can koozies, hit me up, tweetfpv@gmail.com, and I would like to try it out for somebody and get it out there and see what you think. Another cool thing is I was able to engrave my logo on the bottom, which something about CO2 lasers, you can't engrave on metal. Like this works because I'm etching through the powder coat. I found a material called a spray called Permamark, something like that. You spray it on there and it puts a coating of, I don't know what it is, but when you laser it, it infuses itself into the base material, and this is it's like a black permanent mark on there. It turned out pretty good. Like that's not going anywhere. You kind of get an idea of what the engraving looks like. So just a thought, something I was going to try doing a little bit different for like the super chats. Just everybody gives away FPV related stuff, but not like custom made merch, you know what I mean? Not really considering it merch, but yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. Just a thought. I don't know if it's a harebrained idea or if it's gonna be something you guys like. But anyways, something to try. Mahale, hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, I am moving out to the outback. A bit worried about Orca not being able to handle the heat. Like to get a white set. The new Sky Zones be around 116.6. Oh, jeez, why would you want to be outside? That's ridiculous. The Orcas, I mean, it's pretty hot here in Alabama, and I've never had any issues with heat. They do tend to fog. That fogging is kind of a personal experience. It depends on how you breathe and how your face is shaped. But the defogging fan is very anemic. If you find that you tend to fog goggles easily, then perhaps you might want to steer away from the Orcas. Rob Logan, yeah, I need a logo file. Yeah, I need a logo file or something to use as something to cut from. Oh, that's right. So this week I finally got together my my Tweet FPV RTF kits, and I put it out there to the people on my Discord. See if I'm trying to give these kits to people who are going to use them to kind of get into the hobby. This isn't to give away to. Let's see, how do I explain this? I don't want people to look at this as just a way to get some free stuff. This is, I'm on the fence, or I know somebody who's on the fence or would like to try to get into FPV, but I don't want them to dump the money into it if they're not going to like it. So these kits, the idea would be to send them out, let them try it, see if they like it. If they do, and get them back, and they go out and purchase the stuff that they want to purchase to get into FPV. This is just to kind of give people a feel if it's something they're going to like, because FPV seems really cool, but there's a lot of gotchas with it. There's batteries. Like, you can't just have batteries charged all the time. You've got to kind of pre-plan how you want to fly. I want to fly this afternoon and go charge batteries now. People are too impulsive, or they don't have too much patience when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, my daughter is a perfect example of what's the difficult part about FPV is she wants to fly. but she wants to fly the second she wants to fly. I don't have batteries charged up waiting because they'll be bad by the time she gets around to going to fly. Maybe it's worth having batteries on boil all the time for, you know, like 1S because they're cheap. But I don't know, just a thought, just another one of those ideas I have rolling around the back of the head. But I finally got some time and the parts in to complete those kits. It's the Emax goggles. One kit has a Beta Light radio, the other one has a Emax radio, and each kit has the Project Mockingbird, Hummingbird, 2 lipos, a charger, antennas. It's everything you need to get flying. The goggles were donated by T-Bird FPV. Thank you if you're in the chat, which you probably aren't, but thank you so much for donating those. He basically had a bunch of stuff that he wanted to get rid of, but didn't want to throw in the trash. So sent it to me. I added the rest of the things to get the kits going. And I want to send those out to people. I put the link in the chat. Head over there. It's a submission. Like, you have to basically submit why. This isn't a random thing. I'm going to go through and comb out the people that I want to get these kits. I have 2, maybe 3 or 4. I have some extra stuff laying around that I could make 4 kits out of. But it's a submission. You know, tell me who you are, what you're looking to do with it. If you are going to submit a video, there's a submission box in there. Put the link to the video in a Word document or a text document and submit it. But head over there and give it a shot. It starts. Are you or will you be testing the DJI FPV drone? No, I will not. I have about that much interest in it. I have purchased DJI drones in the past. I know this is a very big departure from what they normally do, and I have next to zero interest with it. Plus, I heard it has to work with DJI FPV the V2 goggles, and I don't have those, and I'm not going to buy them until there's a real reason. Rick Cepeda, we're flying the spec class with my frame. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. Spec class my frame with Tiny Trainer and stock Tiny Hawk class. We also have open 65-75 whoop class and 3-inch toothpick class. Oh, cool. So you're doing 3-inch toothpick, like open duct indoors. That's cool. I like that idea. So what he's talking about is my original cavity frame. That's this frame here, except for I have the designs for a 3D printed version. Let me get that. Put that in the chat here. Gotta find it. Oop. I saw it. Where's that? Oh, Thingiverse is the worst page. There it is. There you go. So they're doing a spec class using my frame. That's pretty cool. We also looking to do a couple brush whip classes because it's easier for the younger ones. We have to get in the hobby easier. Yeah, that's exactly the point of this kit. Is I'm trying to get people into the hobby, and brush is the easiest way. I know the Project Mockingbird, Hummingbird isn't the easiest drone brushed whoop to fly, but it's also the cheapest, and it's one of those ones that can suffice from zero experience to ultra high-end experience. Like, it covers a very wide gamut of abilities. Speedy Turtle in the chat. Welcome, my friend. How you doing? Glad you made it today. Yeah. So, do that submission form. Okay, I already entered that. So, yeah, I can show you a little picture of the kit here. So that's what the kit looks like. Goggles, remote, quad. There's a couple lipos in there. Speedy Turtle just got his DJI V2 goggles. Have you had a chance to fly them yet? Kind of curious what you think. I have one person in my Discord that said he's got them, the picture's great, but he'll always have analog, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Is DJI has its place, but it's not a replacement for analog yet. But the nice thing about the DJI goggles is you can use an analog adapter on them and have the best of both worlds. Just open the box. You doing a review? You better be doing a review. There's a couple big streamers out there that I kind of pay attention to. One guy's channel is Alpha Gaming. The other one is EposVox. And they have a lot of really good tips about live streaming. And everybody says, you know, you only want to put out quality content. And put out content. Really, put out content, because you can't improve on your ability to put out content unless you're putting out content. If you are going to wait till you have this super pristine product to put out there, you're never going to get anything out. Just make the videos, put them out there. People are going to comment and say horrible things until you're able to like really kind of fine tune who you are and what you do in your live stream. Just ignore them. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Rick Cepeda says the hummingbirds fly very close to brushless whoops. He is 100% correct. I started off flying the brushed whoops, and they were pretty bad. As soon as brushless came on the scene, it was like, oh, those things are trash. I don't ever want to fly one. I bought one of these hummingbirds, and I'll be honest, other than not having turtle mode, I think its performance is all of that of a normal brushed or a brushless whoop. Yeah, L. Weston, it flew them, but they won't replace my HDO2s. Yeah, I don't think, if you're already here in the hobby and doing analog, I don't think the DJI goggles are going to replace the analog stuff, because you've had the taste of what cheap, light FPV electronics can do. Plus, I mean, you're not going to have a 65 millimeter brush that you can race that's DJI. But also, if you are just getting into this hobby, you can make those DJI goggles do analog too. So that kind of helps. No, I didn't see that post. So JB had a poll, said, what's everybody flying? 70% was analog. That doesn't surprise me at all. I figured it would probably be like more than that. So DJI's here, and they're here to stay. I can tell you that. I put out a poll not too long ago, asking everybody what radio do you currently fly the most, and I was kind of surprised. I wasn't surprised that FR Sky was going to take the top, but I was surprised how many people are going to are at least of the people who voted, of the 221 votes, almost of the FR Sky, almost half are doing Axis and the other half are ACCST, and then the Tango 2 was no surprise. I was surprised the jumper was so low, but then again, this is just a poll of, you know, that many people. Pretty interesting. I'd expect a few more polls like that coming out from me. I kind of want to see where everybody's at, what people are flying, just for my own knowledge. And, well, I mean, I gotta make content. You gotta know which way the winds are blowing, you know what I mean? Welcome from Turkey. Welcome to the live stream, my friend. You have 3 Speedy Cares packages. So if y'all don't know what Speedy Turtle's all about, he has what he calls the Speedy Cares package. It's kind of the give a penny, take a penny thing, but it's all for FPV parts. You get this crate full of stuff, take out the things you need, put in the stuff you have sitting around that you're not going to use anymore, put them back in the box, send it on to the next person. But he's got 3 of those jumping around the country, man. Would you start that about, what, 6 months ago? That's amazing, man. Awesome. Congratulations. 1 in Texas, 1 in Georgia, and 1 in Michigan. Sweet. Ah, DJI is in court right now for copyright infringement. Who is suing them? I didn't see that. Oh, sweet, sweet, Speedy. That's awesome. 6 months ago, yeah, that's awesome. I love it when a great idea just takes off. It's kind of how I felt about the grips. This was just something I liked that I felt was needed on a lot of these radios because I hate wearing a neck strap. I just started selling them to people in my racing chapter. Put a few on Etsy, and these things just blew up. Oh, cool. That's a great idea. Rotating by region. That is a cool idea. I like that. Well, I don't know. Another project I got on the boiler is this. If you don't know who Dave C is, then you probably don't know about the whole 4-inch micro long range thing. Dave C is the original designer of the Flywheel Explorer, and he has plans out there for a 1S micro long range. It's going to run on one 18650. I've got a lot of the parts for it. I'm waiting on some motors, and I'm really kind of curious how this is going to work out. Let me give you an idea what this thing looks like. If this works well, I'm probably going to try to cut a carbon fiber frame, but I think carbon fiber might actually be on the heavy side for this. So that's kind of what it's like. It's literally just drop in at 18650 and go. But this all really depends on having a good back to boost up the cell voltage and picking very lightweight components. Super excited to get this going. Should be a fun little project. It's been a while since I've done a 3D printed quad, especially after doing my cavity frames. I cut a few of these out of carbon fiber and sent them to some people. Sold a few to the guys I fly with. It's a fun little frame to build, and it flies really well. Yeah, I heard Ciotti open up one of Speedy Care's package, man. That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. I've never really been out of the country except for to Canada back when I lived in Michigan, which, that was just like going a state over. Been to Cuba, and that's about it. Eric Allen, get some, man. When it's dry out, fly. I've got a lot of projects sitting on the back burner. I just haven't had a lot of time, and I'll be honest, I haven't had the motivation. I've got the 3-inch build from the last set of sub 250 FPV crates. I've got my Steel 5 build. I'm still waiting for a replacement flight controller for that. I've got this thing. I've got a bunch of projects going. A lot of ideas, a lot of time, a lot of stuff. Just no time, man. A company suing DJI is QFAO Labs. I guess this isn't the first time DJI and Autel. Oh, it's Autel. So Autel makes a. Here's my experience with Autel. They make a Mavic-esque type quad. Folds up, looks a lot like a Mavic, except for it's yellow or orange. It is a piece of shit. It is not good. It's not good. It could be, but I think their big claim is made in America with a bunch of Chinese components. They really bang that nationalistic drum of being in the U.S., but it's not a quality product. I mean, they work fine, but I just didn't like it, especially compared to the refined product that is DJI Mavic. It's very different. So what do you guys got going on out there? Eric Allen's out flying. Anybody else get to fly this week? And what are you flying? Is anybody racing? I know Rick Cepeda says he's racing. That's probably going to be the next poll that I put out is, do you race or acro? What's your primary discipline? So clearly you can be both, but I'm kind of curious if you have one over the other that you prefer. Also, what do you think of 60 frames per second 1080p for the live streams? Do you like it? Is it hard to view, or does it really matter? Does anybody even notice? Because it's definitely a higher bandwidth on my end for sure. Speedy Turtle says my Steel 5 is my new favorite quad. First 6S, that'll do it. The Steel 5, I still have my damaged Haifeng RC flight controller in it. I had to put it back in there for the warranty claim through Banggood, which was a very easy process once I kind of understood what they were asking for. But I just haven't gotten a replacement. I have another flight controller I could put in there. I don't feel like breaking up the match set with the ESC that I have for that quad. It starts. Crashed 3 inches into the snow this morning. Are you conformal coating your stuff? I hope so. Kind of curious. Rob Logan, no flying this week, but a lot of building. Yeah, right now I'm kind of in that. I kind of go through phases throughout the year. This is definitely my building phase. Like I'm building up a bunch of stuff. That way I can just fly the summer and do repairs. Once fall hits, I start looking at micros. Fly micros all winter, then like late winter, early spring, start building. Everybody in my Delta 5 FPV group, the L Multi-GP group that I'm part of, they're all of a sudden talking about doing FPV wing races. We talked about it last year, we talked about the year before, nobody did it, but I know two people went out and bought wings to put together to do some wing racing. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. Update modded the old Blade Torrent 110. Oh, that is a oldie but a goodie. I spoke the Haifeng ESC yesterday. Oh no, man, how'd you do that? Okay, so you just let them dry off. That'll work. Hooked up the XT60 backwards. How did you hook up the XT60 backwards? Or did you solder it up backwards? So I mean, how do you do that? Family Guyver, welcome. I've been flying the ProTech 35, best whoop so far in my opinion. Holding a GoPro, just put Crossfire on it. I've heard good things about the ProTech. I heard that there's also a lot of issues with the Scott Chin, welcome. I don't think I've seen you in here, but Scott Chin, he's one of the guys in the Delta 5 Multi-GP group. Wings, everybody wants to fly wings. I have a wing that I built like 2 years ago. I've flown it a total, well, I don't know if you can call it flying, but I flew it about a total of 10 feet twice, directly into the ground. I have no idea how to fly fixed wing. Family Guyver, you like the ProTech 35. How many, and you're hauling a GoPro on it. That's pretty impressive. I don't know if I'd really call it a whoop at this point. Scott Chin's a lurker. I could say it. Sounds about right. Yeah, so Scott's got a S800. I've got one. Another guy in our group bought one, and I think two people bought an S800 just recently to put together. If you're looking for a wing to get into that's dirt cheap, I think the fuselage kit's like $25. Grab an old beat up 2205, 2206 motor, whatever you got laying around. Doesn't have to be good. Grab one of those. Some cheapo, like $5 servos and ESC, and boom, you got yourself a wing. Got a Zod sub 250 gram. You love it. I have a Zod Talon. How it says? Give me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got one of these Zod Nano Talons. This seemed like it would be a lot of fun. Again, never really put any time into learning how to fly it. I flew it a few times, crashed it once or twice. The cool thing about when you crash it is everything just kind of pops off of it. It's all held on by magnets. So it tends to survive a crash pretty pretty well. It does kind of lead to some weird flight characteristics because the servo is down inside of here, and it's got a control rod. It's got a turn, so there's a bit of play and slop in there. But I think for a beginner getting into flying a wing, this is probably not a bad choice. Not that it's helped me out at all. Do FPV, ready for wing racing. Hey man, I'm willing to give it a try. I got to get somebody. I need one of you guys to help me try to figure out how to set that shit up because, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I could just look it up, but it's definitely one of those things that I'm not used to. But I've also got a timber now, so at least I can give it a try flying that. Rick Spada, I've tried the FPV wing thing yet. I do have a fun jet. I've been thinking about putting FPV in. Fun jet? What's a fun jet? Let's look. Fun jet. Packages to Mexico. No, that's probably not the right thing. Yeah, I mean, wings look like a lot of fun. It's something like we go to the races and in between heats, and when we got some downtime, everybody pulls out their fixed wings and they're flying around. They always look like they're having the time of their life. I want to give it a shot. This Night Radiant here, that thing's it's pretty easy to fly. It's fun to fly. Doesn't take a whole lot, but it's basically just a big power glider. The thing that sucks about that is just hauling it around. It's freaking huge. But anywho, let's go and get that out of the way here. Let's see. I got some crap to give away today. You guys want to do a giveaway? I haven't done one in a little while. Wingsim.com. Let's see, what is this? Wingsim.com. $36. Let's see. So this is like a wing racing sim. Interesting. I might give that a try. Yeah, probably give that a try. Be something, Isn't there any coffee today? I'm fresh out. I need more. I need a lot more coffee. It's been a long week. It's getting warm already. It's like, I think it's like, it's almost, no, it's got to be at least 70 degrees out today. It's muggy. Yeah, 75 out right now. 75 out, rainy and sunny and humid all at the same time. Crazy weather we got here. But hoping the grass dries out a little bit and go out and do some flying this afternoon. It's about, I gotta get out and do some flying for myself. Sounds like you'll need whiskey, probably. Not a big whiskey drinker. It's mostly just beer, unfortunately. Beer and carbs. Those are the two things I'm really trying to stay away from right now. Let me go dig through a box of stuff I got. We'll get some stuff away today. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, so here we go. Lose weight with booze. We've got a set of 4 of these Velox 2207.5 motors. These are, what flavor are these things? These are 1750 kV. I've got about maybe 3 packs on them. And I just didn't like these for my race rig. They were a little on the heavy side. They're definitely powerful motors. Let's see what these things weigh. About 37 grams a piece. If you guys want a chance to win a set of those, let's do a super chat giveaway. I don't know, $5 an entry. And I'll cover shipping to the US. Like I've got a lot of stuff that I could put on the old FPV marketplace, but I would rather kind of do like a raffle for these things. Yeah, they're pretty heavy motors. These are, they're really beefy motors. Like these things will take a absolute beating. Look how thick the bell is. Big old heavy ass bell, super thick. They're kind of neat looking. They got this like jeweled surface to them. They're pretty smooth though. They're a very smooth motor. These would probably be a decent acro motor. Definitely not a race type motor. What are those drag race motors you were showing a couple weeks ago? Drag race motors. Do you remember what size they were? Rob Logan Jr. Get his name in there once. Just one entry today because I never seem to win anymore. Yeah, as long as It Starts doesn't playing, you have a chance. Because he seems to win every time. Oh, he wins a lot. Let's see. Set this wheel up here. It Starts in there for 2. Oh, stage out for some different motors. Yeah, I'll go grab this real quick here. All right. Let's see. Yeah, they were 2207s. Let me grab a set of those real quick here. Where are they at? There we go. So the motors I replaced these for, or with, are these guys here. These are the Brother Hobby UC 2207 1750 kVs. I like these. I wish they were a little bit higher kV. But these are kind of the motors I have on a lot of my race rigs now. They strike a good balance between weight and performance. Not that it matters on me because I still suck at racing, but just Give you an idea of the weight difference. 31 with all the wire, oh, with no prop nut. 36.6 with slightly reduced wire length. So there's quite a bit of difference, man. And then I've also got a Zing 2207. This is one of the Unibels. 34, basically. And then I've got this 2207 motor here. No, it's not 2207. This is a 4214. What happened to the white balance on this? The exposure. A big old bastard. No, that's too heavy. I always like keeping this one around because this is just, it's just ridiculous. Look how big that motor is. I got one extra for my X-Class. Oh, yeah, I got to get that one back from Dew there if he's not going to use it in that airplane I gave him. Family Guyver on the board for one. All right. I swear, God, if you win today, it's over. We're not friends anymore. Yeah, it's damn near as big as an apple. I know I showed these last week, but just in case you didn't see them, because I live streamed at a weird time last week. I got some of Tommy's, Tommy Tiabata's, the Oh My God's motors. These are the 2004 1600 kV motors. A very, very unique motor. T-mount, intended to swing a 5-inch bi-blade, and I guess it'll do a tri-blade too, as long as they're a low pitch, lighter blade. But these are some of the nicest looking motors I have seen. Very unique. These are specifically designed for his frame because the arm, it's a two-hole arm, and the idea is that the motor wire is going to come out straight down the arm. 16.7 grams. Pretty light. Speedy's on for $5 for some heavy motors. Dude. Yeah, so I've been talking to some people at the University of South Alabama. They have a aerospace week coming up at the end of next month, and they were looking for some FPV flight demonstrations. So I've been in contact with some people there. Gonna go out there, bring some gates, bring some quads, some ride-along goggles, things like that, to show them what's up and let them fly around with them. I also mentioned that there's a possibility that I could get some stuff from work to show up, and they didn't seem interested, so oh well, their loss. Put Speedy Turtle on the board. Damn it. I really hate this wheel of names thing. It just wants to spin on its own all the time. Get 3 more of those monsters and put them on something? I do have them on something already. Let's switch to this. See if you guys can see it. Let's maybe if I Bring this down, you guys can see it. There's a X-Class back there. I've got those motors on that thing. Big old monster quad. But that's what they're on. That thing, flying X-Class is like flying any other quad, except for it is terrifying when you fly by yourself. But like when you're in the goggles, it's just like flying any other quad. It's a little bit slower to react, but that's about it. And that thing's swinging 13-inch props. Next, you need a cam on a train set doing laps around the man cave. That's not a bad idea. That was always something I tried to do was a wireless camera, which I could do it with my phone, but there's a ton of latency in it. I'm always up for new ideas, different things. With a head tracker, there you go. The X-Class, I don't fly it nearly as much as I would like to. It's a pain in the ass to haul around and take places. And I'm really kind of scared of crashing it because I don't want to fix it. There's a lot of money went into that, which Banggood sponsored that build for the most part. They covered probably 3/4 of it. Make cool video while fly micro past it. One of my live streams, I did a live view. Flying some micros. I have an FPV receiver to HDMI, which then I could feed into OBS and get a live view, rather than like everybody's sticking their phones against the FPV screens. It's a little cleaner way to do it. Patrick FPV says, "Hey, I just put your grips on my QX7. They are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like them." I put out every once in a while, like when I have a new design or new color, I put it on my YouTube live post, and there's always somebody who's just like, "Oh, why would you want to rub your hands on sandpaper? It's gonna hurt." I'm like, do you hold your radio like this? Because then, yeah, it's gonna hurt. You hold your radio like this, and it allows you to have more grip. And like I try to explain it, and I don't know. I don't know why I interact with some people. They just don't want to hear that their original thoughts and assumptions were possibly incorrect. I guess no ideas are more important than your own. Thoughts are more important than your own. This self-esteem movement is not working out well for us, guys. But anyways, I have grips for the Jumper T-Light and the Radiomaster TX12. They are done. They're cut. I just need to... Oh, that is too tight. They're cut. They're done. I just need to get them into the light box to get some product pictures of, and then I'm going to put them up on Etsy. I've also got an order going out to Race Day Quads. Should be Monday or Tuesday. Those are going out. But I really like the way the TX12 grips turned out. I really like this radio. This is pretty darn nice radio. I would say if you're new to the hobby and you're looking for a radio, one of these two would be a good choice. FR Skyder X-Lite? Oh, absolutely, I got grips for those. I got grips for the X-Lite. There you go, grips for the X-Lite right there. This is one of the designs I had. This was a really tough one to design for. Just a note, they don't join across the back here. I cut them on the new revision. It just makes it easier for people to line them up better. And the material does kind of want to expand and contract a little bit, and it helps keep it from pulling away. But X-Lite turned out pretty darn good. BMO Blue, if you know who BMO is. Tommy's motor, crap. Anybody in the chat remember? I think it was 12 ounces? Or 12 grams? What did I do with it? Adventure time. Yep. 16.7 grams with all the wire and no screws. Oh, another thing that's really nice about these motors is the wires are adhered together, so they come out as like one strip instead of 3 loose wires. Just nice little touches that he put into it. Mike Bergman, that Tango 2 with the orange grip looks sick. That is a custom color for Pyrodrone, who is another one of my retailers. Not that they've ordered much lately, but I gotta hit those guys up, see if they need anything. 16.7 is pretty darn light. I have the 250 frame ordered. It's on the way. Well, no, it's not on the way, but I have it ordered. Hopefully I get that sometime soon. I've got one of the Beast H7s for that guy, and I plan on going DJI with it because why not? 2004 gunmetal ones. What manufacturer are those motors? And what size are they? I wonder if the higher KV will have less wire in it. Same ones. Maybe it's because of the KV. More must have less wraps on the motor. I don't know. I'm sure if I weighed 4 of these, they probably all weigh a little bit different, just manufacturing tolerances. And when they balance them, they put that paste on there. That'll add a little bit, not a lot, but they'll add a little bit. Mike Bourbon asked, what colors do I have? I have the Tommy grip on my Tango 2, but I'm kind of sick of it. Why are you sick of them? I'm kind of curious. For the Tango 2. Tango 2, I have that orange. Got that Ciati FPV purple. It's like a black and purple fleck. It's very reflective, or very glittery. Good old-fashioned black. I have a dark purple. This is my Tweed FPV blue. It's like a sparkly purple, blue. A regular flat blue. Red. The BMO blue. Pink. I have this urban, or this blue camo, and I have a lot of other colors too. I have some odd, I think I have like a green, like one sheet of green. I have a black and gold metal flake. And if there's some material out there that you want, let me know. I charge $12 for a custom cut. So basically, you tell me what it is you want. I'll see if I can find it. I'll order a sheet and I'll cut it and send it to you. Yeah, I'm sure there's some variation. It doesn't like the word ass and didn't post my reply. Yeah, I don't know if I have. I know I have some restricted words. I didn't think that was one of them. Hold potentially inappropriate comments. Disable comments. Hold all comments for review. I don't know. YouTube's, you know. The Tommy grip makes the case hard to split after installation. Yeah, see, that's where he did the right thing. Man, ever the businessman, he planned that right by making it so you have to split the case and ruin the grip to get your case open. I should have done that. Man, missed opportunity. No, I specifically designed mine so that you don't have to destroy them to get the case open. Very strategically place them around the seams rather than across the seams, kind of like this, so you can get the case halves apart without wrecking the grip. So potentially it's a one-time purchase, which is good for you, not so good for me. Shipping in Switzerland, I ship everywhere internationally for $2 US. Now with that said, I don't know why people don't pay attention to this. In the listing, I say it comes in an envelope just like a letter, like I'm mailing you a letter. There's no shipping, there's no tracking. It's gonna go the same way a letter would go through the mail. So internationally, it could take anywhere from 1 week to 2 months. It all depends on how fast the mail system's working, both in the US and in your country, and however it takes to get between point A and point B. So I charge $2 for international shipping. And in the US, free shipping. Which that's the reason why I still sell them on Etsy. Now that Race Day Quads and Pyro Drone carry them, I definitely sell a lot less on my Etsy store. I definitely make the most off of Etsy. Not that that really matters. This is a passion project. But I still sell them because of the international shipping. Like, you can't get them from Race Day Quads or Pyro Drone for $2 shipping. They're going to charge you, I would guess, probably $20 to ship them, just because their systems aren't set up to know that, oh, I can stuff that in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and mail it. So I'd still do an awful lot of international shipping. Patrick FPV got my grips within a week. Awesome, man. Athix, hey man, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. I don't like this song. It's called Buttery Jeans. Butterfly Jeans. Sorry, I can't read. So that, and delete. There we go. Yeah. Robbie, I'm sold. Hey man. Go for it. If you want a link to my Etsy store, go to tweetfv.com, and from there you can see my very amateur website that I put together. This is just me banging it out in the afternoon. Links to YouTube, Patreon. That's the folks at the top of the screen there. Those guys support me the most. Link to my Discord server, and then the social medias, email, and then down here, if you click Etsy, that'll take you to my Etsy page. And all of these are also affiliate vendors. If you're going to purchase something from Beta FPV, Insta360, Get FPV, Banggood, Amazon, if you want to get yourself a sub 250 FPV crate, that is a very easy way to passively support me. So if you saw in the third person shot, I don't even know what the hell you call that. I have a buttload of radios sitting here, and I wanted to go through and talk about which ones I like and which ones I don't, and why. Mike Bergman building a 5-inch Recon by Dave C. And a 4-inch Tiny Trainer. What are you all building? What am I building right now? I'm trying to build the 1S micro long range from Dave C. Figured it'd be a fun little project. Another build I got going is the 3-inch QAV-S, using all the sub 250 FPV crate stuff, and I'm also still working on this stupid Flight 1 build. This is in the Pyro Cube. Really love this frame. I'm not, as of right now, a big fan of Flight 1, or at least not this H7 Lightning. I have Flight 1 on one of my tiny trainers, and it flies awesome. This one, not so much. And I know so little about Flight 1 that I don't know if I'm building this the wrong way, or if this is a bad flight controller. But it flies, but the only way I get to fly nice is if I turn Cerebro AI tuning on, which I don't know what the hell that means. I've found almost no documentation on what any of the filter settings, what any of the PID settings, all the features that are in Flight 1. I can't find any documentation on it. And I don't want to go to the Facebook group and start asking questions because, well, go to the TBS lounge and ask a question. See how that works out for you. Skycam. That's what it is. Skycam. I'm going to change the name of it right now. Oh, well, I didn't mean to do that. Rename. Skycam. Done. Skycam. What I print this out of, this is Prusament PETG. I know Dave C's design says to use PLA. I don't like PLA for anything except for stuff that I just want to look fancy. I think PLA is it's an easy material to print, but it's substandard. It doesn't really belong on anything. Everything I have that I've printed out of PLA that gets even the slightest bit warm in the window in my car, it's destroyed. I've heard PLA Plus is good, but this is better. PETG. If you 3D print, once you figure out how 3D printing works with PLA, just move to PETG and don't look back. Unfortunately, PLA has all of like the really cool looking colors, so that's why I still use it, but it's usually for decorative purposes or for quick drafting. Like if I'm making something and I don't want to do PETG right away, I want to just get a quick draft, knock it out, I'll use PLA, but PETG is where it's at. And if you want to go above this, then there's some really good nylons out there. If you can do PETG, then you can do TPU, which is obviously pretty useful in this hobby. But yeah, that's Prusament PETG. But that's gonna take some doing to get that working. I thought I had a flight controller lying around. I can't find it. I don't know what to do with it. That flight controller that was going to go on that was earmarked for this build. I don't know. I got so many things going on. Mike Berman, yeah, I hate PLA. I have to build that. I prefer PETG 2. PLA Plus is apparently pretty tough. It's more rigid than PETG, less flexible. Yeah, typically the less flexible, then the more brittle. At least in my experience. But I know there's a lot of different blends out there from different manufacturers that act differently. So, and as you can see, printer is dormant right now. So, oh crap! The wife asked me to print out a hook for my daughter's bedroom. I'll get it later. So, anyways, on to the radios. So, I have a smattering of radios here. Everything from the TX16 all the way down to the Beta Light radio. And so my FPV journey started off with it was a FlySky FSI6, I believe, and then I went to one of these. This is the Taranis QX7. From the FlySky to the Taranis was a huge jump. The Taranis is definitely the functionality of this was, I mean, this thing worked a lot better than the FlySky. The FlySky worked fine, but there's a lot more support, a lot more options you can do with this, and you can get yourself into a lot of trouble with this radio because there is so much available for you to use, or for you to do with it. So yeah, I started off on the FlySky, went to the QX7. I liked this radio, but at the time I was pinching, and I always found it very difficult to get to the innermost travel without like having to roll my hands over the radio. So this one didn't last me long. I ended up going to a X9D, which I really liked. I liked that the gimbals were farther to the edge of the radio, so I was able to get to the inner travels, but that radio was just so stinking heavy, and I did not like wearing a neck strap. So I had the X9D for quite a while, and from that I switched to an X-Lite, and I really like the X-Lite. That's where I started to discover the game style platform, the smaller, a little bit smaller gimbal. Well, that radio had a much smaller gimbals, but I liked the form factor. I liked how it was small, light, packed up really well. It was pretty versatile because it still had a micro JR bay on it, so you still could put modules in it when they were available. So I really liked that. From there, I switched to the Nirvana, which hands down was the most comfortable radio I've ever had. I really liked the Nirvana. The software was a dumpster fire of a mess. That radio forced me to become a thumber, which I'm still a thumber to this day. Which I think if I was a thumber when I had the old QX7, I probably would have really liked this radio. I still think the ergonomics are poor for me. I don't like the ergonomics of this radio. Feels like I'm holding a chunk of plywood. I don't know. I still don't like the way it feels, but it's a very popular radio. From the Nirvana, I kind of saw the writing in the sky with that one, how the developer just dropped off the face of the planet, so I sold that thing before it died. They said the software is supposed to get fixed in OpenTX 2.4, which I've been hearing that for well over a year now. So 2.4, who knows when that's going to come out. I think the last time I checked, they were like halfway to their goal with that. So went from the Nirvana to the FrSky X9 Lite. This is the S model, but I went to the X9 Lite. I really like the X9 Lite. It kind of strikes a good balance between the super heavy traditional box radios and then the light gamepad style radios. Small enough that you can reach everything, has trim switches, has enough switches. This is perfect for the FPV hobby. The S model has two extra little momentary switches which work really well for doing like a switch arming or pre-arm. Because I had a quad arm in my hand with the X-Lite. I bumped the switch when I was putting it down, it turned on. Didn't get hurt. But with this, you can do switch arming, so you just, and then you're good. Worked out really well. I really like this radio. The S model adds a lot of extra features, or a few extra features like internal charging and the two momentary switches. So I really like this radio. From that, I went to the Tango 2. This is my go-to radio. I absolutely love this radio for the innovation that's in it. I like not having the dingus arm switches because I break those all the time. Push button switches. Really hard to accidentally arm this with using these switches as your arming switch. When I bought it, I still was very heavily using this radio for most of my builds. This was just for my Crossfire builds, but since then they've come out with the external module bay, the ability to do an external module so I can control my FrSky quads with this. I really like that. It really detracts from the form factor and the sleekness of this radio, but it's a good option. Things I really don't like about this radio is a mixed bag, guys. I really like it, but there's a lot of things I don't like. Things I do like, how small it breaks down. Pack it away. It hardly takes up any space in your bag. It's very light, has internal charging, Crossfire is built into it. Things I don't like about it, no trim switches. So if you're a fixed wing flyer, this is probably not a good radio for you. This is definitely quad oriented. You can do trims, but it requires you to double click the roller and then make your trim adjustments on like pitch, click it again, roll, yaw. It's not as easy as being able to just bump a switch that's sitting there. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. So there's other radios that have come out, like the T-Lite and the TX12. These are all kind of the same thing. These are all very much like the same form factor as the X9 Lite. This is definitely a little bit heavier than this. This has that gamepad style. Gimbals are exactly the same. They're a little bit smaller than the X9 Lite. These are full-size gimbals. Don't believe what people tell you. This is a full-size gimbal. It's the same gimbal size that's in the QX7, the X9D. It's the same. Because I've actually swapped them out. You can do it. It takes some work. I have a adapter 3D print over on Thingiverse if you're interested in it. Let's see, go back to the chat. Athix 250, you're strictly racing, correct? No, I mostly race, but I definitely do some acro flying just for myself. But for the most part, I race. Like Bourbon, guy's printing a Glog. Yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty impressive. USPS, they have been hit pretty hard with the bad weather in the country. Who was calling me? I don't want to talk to you. USPS has been pretty backed up. Most things that are supposed to be delivered, I've been getting a week later. Software is better now. Yeah, the software is better now, but it's being developed by the randos. I mean, there's probably like one guy that's taking it on, which kind of sucks. Like, try buying spare parts for a Nirvana. You're not going to get it. Try buying spare parts for an FR Sky. They are everywhere. You almost have to buy 2 Nirvanas, one for spare parts, if you need it. Mike Bergman, you mentioned one version of the X9D is easier to deal with, was the ACCST version. Sorry, not to keep spamming the chat with questions. No, man, keep them coming. X9D with the ACCST, the older ones are actually, they're probably easier to deal with if you're going to fly micros, because you could still use D8 mode. That's the only advantage, but you can't go forward with access. So you're kind of being left behind. Tillman, happy Saturday. What are we chatting about? FR Sky stuff? Radio stuff? FR Sky radio stuff? TBS? Radio stuff. Yeah, Patrick, how dare you? All I see is, it's gotten bad where all I see is memes now when I hear people talk. Something might be wrong with me. I keep getting syntax error on my Tango 2. Super annoying. Yeah, I've gotten that too. Basically, it's, you got to like wipe the SD card contents and reload FreedomTX, and I've been able to fix that. Do you need to or use trim on your quads? Nope, I don't use trim on the quads. If you're flying like a micro in angle mode or like an auto level mode, you can trim them, but I don't use trim switches. You can use beta play stick commands. Just search beta play stick commands, and you'll see how to add trim to the accelerometer. But that's the way you do it. Trims are for fixed wing, as far as I'm concerned. Hey, when are you going to spin the wheel? Oh, that's right. I forgot about the wheel. The wheel, I don't know. Let's spin that about. Let's spin about 4 o'clock. I kind of want to do a 2-hour stream, so about 4, we'll spin that wheel. Anybody just got in here, $5 super chat gets you on the wheel to win a set of these Velox 2207.5, 17 something or other 100 kV 6S motors. Tillman Kreister, what is your take on Access Racing Mode? I have not had a lot of luck with Access Racing Mode. Not because there's something wrong with it. I've been trying to get it to work for the X9 Lite, and working with FR Sky to work around the bugs that I've been finding on it. But so far it feels fine. It feels great. I haven't put it on an oscilloscope to actually get the frame timings on it, but it feels good. It's nice that it's something that's built into the hardware you already possibly have, and you don't have to buy a new module or anything like that. What gamepad style do you recommend the most? What gamepad style do I recommend the most? Right now, the Jumper T-Lite. This is probably the best built gamepad style radio. I would say the X-Lite, except for I like this has a little bit bigger gimbals on it, a little bit better resolution than the X-Lite. That's the only reason why I would go with this. It does have a module bay for it. It's one of the small module bays like that. But this is actually a pretty good radio. It does have its own. It does have some faults, but it's not bad. Rocking the X-Lite with the Crossfire Nano. It's a great setup there. Yeah, so it starts. You can do that, and you get it close, but there may be some inherent drift in the setup when you level it, because maybe your surface isn't perfectly level. You can tune that out using Betaflight stick commands. So you get up, let it hover. If it has a little bit of drift, you land, you bump the sticks like once or twice, pick it up, and you just kind of keep tuning it until you get it so it's pretty stable. It's never going to be perfect though. X-Lite Pro was my well, I had the X-Lite and I had the X-Lite Pro. I really like the X-Lite Pro, but like I said, I like a little bit bigger gimbal. As far as the way it feels, I like the X-Lite better than the way the Tango 2 feels, as far as like the ergonomics go. But I like the bigger gimbals. It does have power issues. The T-Lite does have power issues if you try to add an external module, if you try to push too much power. So it can safely, or it can reliably do about 250 milliwatts on Crossfire. You just got to know what it is you're getting into. This thing's powered by one 18650 battery. You can put a BEC on it and get the full 1 watt, but remember, you're still using just one 18650 battery. It's not what it was designed for. 250 milliwatts on Crossfire is an awful lot of power, and you can do a lot with 250. If you want to fly the full 1 watt and you want this little radio, you're going to have some limitations, and you got to know that going into it. It's a cheap radio. Price-wise, it's cheap. There'll probably be another version made by Radio Master, I'm sure, that's going to have all the bugs worked out of it, because that's kind of how this works. But this will do a module, but you are constrained by certain power limitations on it. The highest power output you can possibly get out of Crossfire Micro TX V1 is 250 milliwatts. That version right there, the old one, yeah, 250. Yeah, the X-Lite will do two 18500s or two 18650s with extension caps. In my experience, the extension caps were garbage on both radios I had. They didn't line up. The finishes weren't the same. I was really kind of irritated that that you had to buy them when it originally came out, and it was a real half-ass implementation. They may have fixed it by now. I hope they have, but I was pretty disappointed. If you have air mode and motor stop enabled in Betaflight configuration, why do the motors still spin up? Because you have air mode enabled. It starts to use a Tango 2 with the 4-in-1 module. Yep, that makes this a very good setup. Unless you're flying wings, then it's kind of a pain in the butt because there's no trims. It's a little thing, but it's one of those things that you kind of want to have. But out of all these radios, oh, I even have this one. This big old behemoth, the DJI radio. This is a really damn good radio for what it is, for what it does. It's probably it is quintessential DJI. It feels like a DJI product. It's molded the right way. It fits in your hand perfect. The switches feel high quality on it. Thing I do like about this is if you're flying DJI, you don't need a receiver because every air unit and every Vista is a receiver for the radio. So that's already built into it. Binding is literally pushing a couple buttons. I think it's like these three. And then pushing a button on the side of the Vista or the air unit and boom, you're bound. All the setup is done in the goggles. You can control all the functions in the DJI goggles with the radio rather than using the little button on top. Scroll wheel and selecting through here. So it's a very well designed radio. It looks kind of goofy with the big old antennas on it, but it feels a lot like a radio out of a Phantom. So decent radio. I do have a couple builds that I just use that, like my Cinesplorer. You're not going super long range, so hassle of two less antennas, or not having to put a receiver in it, not having to put an antenna in it. I fly it with just the DJI radio. Works great. Works great. It's not going to give you the range of Crossfire, but you got to know what it is you're getting into, what to expect. Mike Bergman, I kind of want to get DJI radio for HD micros. May get one. If you're gonna, ideally that'd be the way to go with high def micros because you're already suffering for the extra weight. Why throw the complexity of another receiver, more antennas? Just get the radio. DJI receiver function is 5.8. Correct. It is 5.8. Is it 5.8? Yeah, it's 5.8. I don't know. I'm like 99% sure it's 5.8. Let me look. Yeah, it's got to be 5.8 because that's what the air unit runs on without an extra antenna. Oh, let's see, we got the goggles, got the air unit, got the camera, got the remote controller. Yep, it's 5.8. Oh, sorry, Bad streamer. DJI FPV remote controller, frequency range 5.7 to 5.8 gigahertz. So yes, it is on the 5.8 gigahertz band, which makes sense. It kind of would have to be. What's the range of the DJI Radio Link? It's not great. It's the same range as the air unit. We'll put it that way. If you can see, you can control. You're not going to lose one. I mean, it's not going to fail safe until you're at the point where you can't see anything anyways, because it's using the same antennas, the same receiver, on the same frequency. So, so it's very well matched for each other. But I haven't tried flying it on, not that I would fly on 1.2 watts, but on 1.2 watts, it should be the same thing. Isn't that like 12 miles? Well, that's all. There is a program limitation to the DJI system based off of return latency. I think it's like 7 kilometers is the maximum range, where it just kind of goes back and drops out. Even if you do have good video, it'll still drop out because it's too much time between a sent packet and a received packet. The system just shuts down. 12 kilometers? Is that what it is? Something like that. Is there any issue with interference with analog guys? Absolutely. The two don't play well together at all. We've tried doing some mixed analog digital racing at the field, and it doesn't work. You have to be... so the problem is the goggles transmit, And if you're standing next to somebody, even if you're on a different channel, which you would be, you're still blasting them, and they'll get these weird white bars across their video, and it'll knock them out of the air. So you digital guys have to stand way, way, way away from the analog guys, like 20 feet or more away, and they just don't work well together. You can't be all huddled together like you can with analog. You got to be off in your own corner. Yeah, I might have to go out and give that a try. See how far I can get on just the radio. I haven't fired this thing up in a long time. Hell, it might be dead actually. Very DJI. It's got a fan on it too. Like this thing moves some serious air. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's heavy. It's a heavy radio. It's I'd say it's heavier than my X9 Lite. A little bit. There's a lot of heat sink in there. There's fans. There's all sorts of stuff. So out of all these radios I have here, and I have a whole smattering of them, a lot of different variety. I've used them all to a certain degree or another. I haven't used the TX12 a whole lot or the T-Lite. I have used them, just kind of playing with them. You get really quickly, you get an idea how they are. These are all OpenTX radios. Well, Freedom TX is just a branch of OpenTX. The Light Radio 2 is OpenTX, but it's kind of in a weird way OpenTX. Like that's what it runs, but it's not the traditional OpenTX with a screen on it. The new Light Radio 2 SE is not OpenTX. It's its own little setup, which I think is actually probably better of a choice for that radio. But out of all of these, if someone asks me, which radio do I get? I'm getting into the hobby. Which radio do I get? This is it. It's a very unpopular decision or choice. The reason why I picked this radio, it is the most versatile radio out of the bunch. This one, the new Access QX7, the X9D 2019, that's my choice. This is what I would say. If you got to pick one radio, this is the one. And a lot of people will say that that's a terrible choice because it doesn't do D8. Now it does. Well, it doesn't do crossfire. Drop a module in. It does. Doesn't do tracer. Module, put it in. Tracer. All these other radios, all these other non-FR Sky radios, or even the older ACCST radio, cannot do access. If you ever want to do access, you will never be able to do it on this radio, this radio, this radio, this radio. You will never be able to do access. Access is going to keep developing. There's going to be new stuff that comes out with the new implementations of it, lower latency firmware, the race mode with the Archer RSs. This radio is going to be able to do it. All the access radios are going to be able to do it. None of these other ones are. This radio will do everything that all these other radios do if you put the right module in it. So as far as the most versatile radio you can get, it's this one, and that's my opinion. OpenTX was kind of rough to learn coming from Spectrum. Actually, I helped out a guy like 2 weeks ago, did the video chat through Discord, and he was trying to get a Spectrum radio bound up to, or set up for a quad that he built or bought, something like that. And I've never messed with Spectrum before, and I was surprised how rigid Spectrum's interface was. Like, this is your option, or this is your option. Pick one. Whereas OpenTX is like, do whatever you want. Here's how you do it. Just do it. There's a lot. There's almost too much to do in here to make it kind of daunting and hard to figure out, as opposed to, I think Spectrum's more of a streamlined, like, here's an option, you can go these two ways, and that's it. Yeah, and you don't have to think about firmware or any of that stuff. But you gotta understand, OpenTX, don't think of that as firmware. Think of OpenTX as an operating system, because that's what it is. OpenTX is an operating system. All that does deals with the user interface, what you tell the radio to do and what the radio is going to do with that information. The firmware in this is for how these things are going to talk, how the radio modules, either the one that's built into it or the one you plug into the back of it. That is what the firmware is for, is how this thing's going to talk, either between the radio and the receiver or vice versa. And then you have the bootloader, and that basically handles like how it powers up things and more like base level functions. I would consider access if I was new, but no way I'm changing all my stuff. You don't have to change all your stuff if you have access. Like, I've heard that a lot of times. I'm not buying access because I don't want to change everything I have. You don't have to change anything. You can use all your old stuff. Get yourself a 4-in-1. You can use all your old stuff, but you'll never be able to use the new stuff. Rob Logan, kneel down. What receiver should I get to most utilize access protocol on my X-Lite Pro? The Archer RS or the Archer M Plus. I would say Archer RS. That's the one I would go with. And Mahale, damn it. And then there's the elephant in the room, Express LRS. Express LRS is kicking everybody's butt as far as the RF game goes. There's a lot of gotchas there. There are a lot of gotchas. There's a lot of extra work that goes into Express LRS. You have to know what you're doing. You can't be new, get into this hobby and go with Express LRS. Or can you? Actually, you can now. So with Express LRS, there are they do 900 megahertz. It does 2.4 gigahertz, and it is really outperforming everything out there. But it's at a cost. It's still experimental. You know, you could flash one up and have it fail safe and lose your quad. So you have to be willing to put up with the newness and the almost beta-ness of it. But there is this guy here. Ah, dang it, that's too big. So there's this, where are we at? This guy here. This is made by Happy Model, and it is a Express LRS ready to roll 900 megahertz ultra long range module. It doesn't come with the fancy little box. It's kind of like almost like a project board. You're supposed to put it in a box or 3D print a box, but it is pre-flashed with Express LRS. And they sell it with the receiver as well. The whole setup. So there is an actual buy it ready to go setup for Express LRS. But until it's more fleshed out, I'm not really going to recommend it. But just know that it is there. It is a thing. What are the benefits of Express LRS? Lower latency, higher range, better link reliability on all fronts. I understand OpenTX a heck of a lot more. Like you said, it's very rigid. It is very rigid. Felt like coming from an iPhone to Android. Just a lot to learn to deal with quads. Yeah, and that's why I always recommend anything with OpenTX, because there are way more of us in this hobby that fly anything with OpenTX than with any other operating system. And you can always find help with somebody or from somebody. Ricardo, I'm new to FPV. I have an School 5 4S Zing motors. I want to build something similar, 5-inch KV, etc. Should I buy the same motors or different brand? Do I stay with familiar motors or put something in new? That's the awesome thing about this hobby. There's just so much variety out there that you can try different things. Yes, that's what I thought you meant, Apex. Spectrum is very rigid. Ricardo, variety is the spice of life, man. I mean, I have sitting in front of me 5 different types of motors. They all do the same thing. They all run on the same voltage. The nice thing about sticking with the same motor is if you crash and wreck one, you have spares that will fly basically the same, but you can mix and match motors too. Betaflight's pretty good. It'll handle it. Don't really recommend it, but in a pinch, if you had a 1800 kV motor and a 1900 kV motor of the same rough size, you can throw it on there and it'll fly just fine. Yeah, I was going to get to that, Mihail. The go-to motor, I would say right now, if you're looking for a budget, all-around great motor, it's going to be the Emax Eco 2s. But about 2 months ago, I did a budget F7 Banggood only build. It was the cheapest quad I could build out of Banggood. It was going to be worth a damn. Don't believe these $99 builds. They're garbage. Don't do it. You're wasting your money. The best you can do is about $200. You can go out and buy a Nazgul 5 for less than what it will cost you to build your own quad. It won't be built by you, but if you want a backup quad, it's, 2 years ago, I would almost never recommend a bind and fly. Now, there are so many good bind and flies out there that it's hard to recommend building your own quad. If I have to recommend that you build your own quad, you probably shouldn't be building your own quad. You kind of get what I mean there? I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's like somebody asking, well, how do I desolder a chip from my flight controller? It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing it if you're asking that question. Yeah, sorry. Athex bought through 4 different motors at one time when he was low on parts. Yeah, some of these larger multi-GP races, they'll do a random prop race where they have a bucket of props and you dig your hand in there and you grab 4 props. They might not even be the same size. Put them on and race them. Clay, adios muchachos. Going to fly. Good, man. Get the hell out of here. Go fly. If you can fly, stop watching me. Go do it. Because that's what I would like to be doing right now. Actually, no, I love doing the live streams. I like talking to you guys. It's therapeutic for me to just interact with some of you nice, fine folks at the end of the week. I really love the live streams. I like the immediate interaction rather than the delayed chat through the traditional uploads. And I'll be honest, like, I've been watching some of these streamers and they're talking about creator, like content creating fatigue, or basically fatigue. And I'm there, man. I have a hard time wanting to make content, especially traditional content, because you got to record it, then you got to edit it, then you got to upload it, and you got to do the thumbnail, you got to all that stuff. This is awesome. Like, I can interact directly with you guys. I can answer the questions you want to do, which is really what I want to do. I want to help get you guys flying, or help answer questions, or give you advice and things like that. And I think this is the better format for doing it. I just do it once a week, though, rather than with the traditional uploads. I can do it. It's constantly helping, but in a much slower way. Another reason why I like Discord so much is it's a way you can interact with myself and the people in my community instantaneously. Let's see, I swapped out a 1204 to replace the 1303. Couldn't tell a difference. Nope, the PID controller is so good, it's not going to be it's only going to be as powerful as your weakest motor, one of those things. But the PID controllers are so good that you won't notice a difference. Athex, I'm going crossfire on my fixed wing when I can. I'm done with Spectrum. Team failsafe. The only people in like professionals in the FPV hobby that fly Spectrum seem to be sponsored by Spectrum, or they're the die-hard tiny whip pilots, like actual tiny whip pilots, where it was all Spectrum anyways. But yeah, so in the end, this is my recommendation for the number one most versatile and useful radio out there is the FrSky X9 Lite S. If you have different thoughts, let me know what you think. What you think the better radio is out of all these ones that I've shown you guys today, which is, we got like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different radios here. When you're done with this, if you go back to the last video I uploaded, it was my review of the FEV Sub 250 crate for the month of February. I've got a giveaway going on this. I'll draw that next weekend, so make sure you get entered for that. Roby, it's dark here. I'm still waiting for my receiver, waiting on China, but wish I could fly. Yeah, Chinese New Year's over, but I think it's over. Should be over, but stuff takes forever. All right, so we're getting close to the end of the stream here. Doing a $5 Super Chat giveaway for a set of 4 of these beautiful T-Motor Velox 2207.5 motors. Very, very pretty motors. Very beefy motors. A lot of power. Great little motor. What is it, 1750 kV. So $5 Super Chat, we'll draw that in about 5 minutes here. Yeah, Athex, that's a great point. A lot of plane pilots fly Spectrum, and I think it has to do with the fact that Spectrum's been so ingrained in the fixed wing sector for so long. Like this Night Radiant came with a Spectrum receiver in it. Like they come almost like bind and fly, but everything's set up out of the box. Yeah, they're definitely very prominent in the fixed wing space. Spectrum has always had extremely low latency. They have decided to tune their receivers for lower latency, but lower range. And they very, very much know that they've done that. I think I figured out a coupe canopy for the power pick. The stock carbon fiber one is effective, but hideous. The power pick. Yeah, the power pick is a pretty hideous looking quad. It's just, I don't know, it's like he just gave up. It's functional, it works, but it's pretty hideous. Patrick FEV, $5 through the Super Chat. Thank you very much, my friend. I'll get you on the wheel here. Yeah, the power pick is a pretty horrendous looking quad. Have you checked Thingiverse? There's always stuff on Thingiverse. It's got to be something. I think I forgot to add Mike Bergman to the wheel. Oh, damn it, stop that. There we go. Yep, Mike Bergman, I just saw that. I saw it before, I just forgot to add to the wheel. Yep, you're on there for 2. Patrick FPV, I fly the power pick frame. It's a funny looking, but relatively durable for its weight. Yeah, he definitely is very much more function over form. If it looks ugly, but it works, he don't care. That's the way it's gonna be. It starts. How much could I sell my X9D with ACCST, R9 module, and fancy aluminum case for? Depending on the condition and the timing of it, I have seen those go for anywhere from like as low as $100 all the way up to about 200. Honestly, a great place to sell that, and I've been meaning to talk about this for a while. Let's. A great place to try to sell that is over here on FPV Exchange. Nevin, the person who developed and is running this, it is kind of like the Facebook marketplace, but just for FPV parts. Let me log in here. Show you guys how easy this is. All right, I'll go back. Ugh, come on. Oh. That's right, I'm not a robot. All right, well, apparently I'm having a hard time logging into there. Or, no, I'm not. There we go. There you go. Oh, Speedy's already beat me to it. Yeah, FPVExchange.com. So here you can, in your profile, you can add your inventory. Okay, whatever. So that's all gone. Anyways, you can add your thing you want to sell, put it in there. You can hit, basically, it'll put it out there for sale. Someone sees it, they make you an offer. You can accept it, deny it, whatever. But it's kind of like Facebook Marketplace, but very targeted for FPV gear. The really interesting thing about this is he has integrated the search, your inventory with your order history. So if you give them your newbie drone, race day quads, pyro drone, get FPV information, it'll automatically populate your inventory with everything that you have purchased. And then you could say, yes, I want to list this, or no, I don't want to list this. So, I mean, I have things listed that I'm using right now. Like if somebody says, hey, I need a motor now, I'm willing to pay you for it. I'll desolder for my quad and I'll mail it to them if they want it. I must have more than one account for some reason. Mine's populated, but it's just not logging in. Whatever. Anyways, you get the idea. And he's working on getting him integrated in Facebook Marketplace as well. That is awesome. That would be perfect. Edward Ash is so glad a recommendation X9 Lite S. I got one. Had so much trouble with a bad ISRM module out of the box. Your Discord server were such great help. Yep. This is very cheap electronics. There are going to be some failures out there. The fact that you can get one of these things for under $100 and it does what it does is absolutely amazing. I mean, if you put it all in perspective, it is amazing at what they can do. All right, we're getting on to 4 o'clock here. We're going to give this wheel a spin. Last plug for custom engraving. If you have a cool FPV logo and you want to get it put on a tumbler or something like that, let me know. I want to try to branch out and do something a little bit different for the community. I think it would be kind of cool to show up at a race or event with your 12-ounce koozie with your pilot name and all your stuff engraved on the can. Everybody likes custom things. All right, so while I'm setting this wheel up, go ahead and I'll show you guys. This is a real quick tuning session that I was doing with this Falco X build. So I've been tuning this for a while and it just has horrible D-term oscillations. Yeah. And this is just awful. You can really see the oscillations. It's so bad, I just land it right away. And I've been fighting with this for a little while now. Even turning the D term down. You can just see the shaking in the camera. So they have this Cerebro AI tuning. Turn that on, and I'll give it a fly on this with pretty low D term.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
Edward Ashley with $9.99. We'll get you in there twice, just in the nick of time. and all that oscillation, all that stuff I was dealing with is just gone. I don't know what it does. I don't know if it's black magic or if it's marketing wank. But the more I flew it, the better it flew. Really weird. There's almost zero prop wash. It just handles so good. Stops on a dime.
Oh. Okay. Well.
Oh, that's me talking over the microphone.
Well, that was unexpected. Holy shit.
And the old tree got me in the end. And I went from having a quad setup that was almost to the point where the motors were so hot that that I was going to damage them, to running cool as a cucumber with no oscillations, no nothing, and it just flew awesome. I don't know what the difference is or what that Cerebro AI tuning does, but it made a huge difference. So I was almost at the point where I was going to scrap that build and just be done with Flight 1, but that is getting me reintroduced to it, or reinterested in it. Oh, also, last week, we were talking about Flight 1 and being used on other manufacturers' boards, and I said I thought there was more options out there, because from this, there was a really short list. The beta firmware, or sorry, the alpha firmware, is for all of these. Look at all these flight controllers that you can put Flight 1 on. So, last week I said there was like 5 or 6. There's got to be 20 of them here. So, this is something that I'm looking for in the future when I go to purchase a flight controller, is what the target is, and if I could put Falco X on it. So I have it on 2 builds. One I'm extremely impressed with. That'd be my my tiny trainer, and then this Pyro Cube is pretty interesting too. So just keep that in mind. It's an alpha build, but you know, that means they are working towards a final build. All right, folks. So we are getting to the end of the stream. Hey, Celis, welcome to the live stream, buddy. Glad you're here. I realize that I'm missing a capture device. Let's see. Rio. No, I don't want that one. Hang on. I'm doing some OBS changes here. The capture device. Camlink 4K. But sorry, guys. There we go. That's better. There we go. Hey, Salis, welcome to the live stream. Just talking about some radio stuff. Maybe you'll recognize this bad boy. Donation to the channel from Celis there. If you haven't seen Celis's flight edits, check him out. Look him up on YouTube. He has a very interesting and very creative process to his flight edits. Really like it, man. Yeah, Celis, you're a little late to the party, but hey, man, better late than never. And if you missed this to go fly, That's awesome too. All right. Spinning some 2207 and a half. These are 1750 kVs. All right, folks, we're gonna go ahead and spin this thing. Let's go ahead and shuffle this up. If you're not in here, say something now, because I think I got everybody. And I'll send these out probably this week. Yeah, the number's backwards. They're a little backwards, but you're right. You got it for the most part. Charge them up. Yeah, the sun's starting to come out. I'm going to go do some flying after this. I still haven't flown my glide build that I built like 2 weeks ago. Haven't even hover chested it yet. Gotta go get that thing flying. All right, so thank you everybody for stopping by and hanging out with me. I really enjoy interacting with all of you. If you have any suggestions on a live stream or content or things you want to see, things you want to come to the channel, let me know. Put it down there in the video description. Hit me up, tweetfb@gmail.com. Wait, don't spin. Okay, I'll wait. Head over to Discord. And we can talk over there. Toxic buy-ins, $5. $5. T-Motor, Velox. These awesome looking little guys here. All right. Toxic's gonna get down on this. I mean, it starts in there, so you guys know you're gonna lose anyways. But 4K content is going to be coming to the channel. I hope my computer can handle it. I hope this thing works out. I haven't figured out how to do 4K streaming to the YouTubers. I don't have the internet connection to do it. Toxic FEV for $5. I'll get you up on the wheel, my man. All right, let's go ahead and shuffle this sucker up. Somebody give me a number between 10 and 60. $38. $38 it is. All right, folks, here we go. tweetfb.com if you want to see what I got going on. Find those affiliate links so you can passively support me or become one of these people here, and you can get in all the Patreon content where I do monthly giveaways. Oh boy, it's Mike Bergman. Congratulations, Mike. I don't even need that wheel to stop. I know it's you. Look, it starts. You were so close, man. Mike Bergman, congratulations. Rob Logan Jr., sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Hey, it's got to happen eventually, you know? It's all your fault. Oh, man. I truly enjoy doing these super chat giveaways. I think it's a fun little thing. But anyways, head over to tweetfb.com. You can find links to Patreon. Be one of these cool people up here. Get your name on the top. I do monthly giveaways over on Patreon for, well, it's been fully built quads for almost 6 months now. Anything from micros to full 5 inches, but I have plenty of stuff to give away over there. Make sure you head over if you're interested in this RTF kit thing I got going on. And you want to spend the time to enter a submission, go ahead and hit that Google Doc over there. It's going to take some work on your part. So if you're not willing to work for it, I even tell you what to do in there if you're not willing to do that. Hey, it'll happen eventually, guys. It'll happen eventually. But anyway, so I got Patreon giveaways going on. I got giveaways going on over on Patreon. I've got the RTF kits going on. I've got one of these guys. Check out my last video. The entry form's in there. And lots of stuff. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you want to see. When are you going to decide on the RTF kit? I'll probably do it next Saturday. I'll do the RTF kit. Discordians, yeah, my Discordians. Yeah, I'm going to do the FPV kits next Saturday. I'll probably go through the submissions and talk about it on the live stream. Look for this video, how to make an 18650 4S pack. I'm sure you guys don't need to know how to make it, but I show you the tweet way to do it. All right, Speedy Turtle, we'll see you around, buddy. I hope everybody has a good weekend. That XR should be back Tuesday. I hope it shows up Tuesday and someone's around to sign for it. I miss riding it. I've been riding the Pint. I love the Pint, but I miss that XR. All right, guys, go out, go fly, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.